welcome everyone to Movement Morning Flow. My name is Mark Cormier. I'll be practicing today with Kathy Cormier, and we'll get going in a minute or so. Let me adjust the camera just a tad. There it is. There's our 9 o'clock hour. All right. Welcome, Kathy Cormier.
Good morning. I think a dog's gonna follow me to practice.
I hope not.
It'll be fun if she does. Oh, here, let's actually. Maybe she stop. Nothing's so precious.
All right. Welcome, Kathy.
Good morning.
How are you feeling this morning?
I am feeling great.
You said you had some shoulder.
Yeah, I slept on a train car the other day, and I kind of
Better than a train car sleeping on you.
Haha. Yeah.
All right.
But I did something, and I'm not sure what. I haven't done yoga since then, so I'll probably be taking it easy on my chaturangas and such.
Okay, so
I mean, I'll do them, but I think I'll probably modify it, which will be good.
Okay, so I'll cue it, but certainly feeling free,
Yeah.
as always,
Yeah.
to follow your own guidance.
Oh, this is Kiwi, everybody.
All right, Kiwi.
No, she can stay. It's cute.
She can stay.
Yeah, she's not really.
Well, I want people to
She will move. She will move.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so let's get going. Finding our feet. I'll suggest a wide stance to start out. Hands on our hips as we march it from side to side. Letting that marching get smaller and slower.
See?
And then staying grounded through 2 feet as we start to find our center vis-a-vis right and left. Grounded in our center, right and left. Let's just swing it back and forth, heel toe. I'll invite you to lift the heels and lift the toes, starting to wake up our feet. And then letting that movement get smaller and slower, staying grounded through the heels and grounded through the toes, but still rocking front to back. And then finding your center vis-a-vis front to back. From the center of your foot, drawing energy up through the legs, into the low back, into the spine. I'll invite you to release your hips, hands by your side, relax shoulders, tall through the crown of the head. A slight tuck of the chin as you bring your hands to your heart. A light press of your thumb against your sternum as you line up each finger. Starting our practice this morning, watching as our breath flows in and out. From this place of just watching your breath, I'll invite you to shape your breath as you find a long, slow inhalation in, followed by a long, slow exhalation out. As you breathe in, I'll invite you to find a full body breath, bringing the air to the top of your chest, the base of your belly, filling up each side waist, filling up both front and back planes of your body. As you breathe out, I'll encourage you to engage your abdominals, drawing the low belly in and up, concurrently lifting the kidneys in and up, squeezing a little more air out, more importantly, providing structural support for your spine as we move through these shapes and sequences. Keeping all this, moving towards the go-to breath in many flow practices, the Ujjayi, the victorious breath, slightly constricting the base of your throat, adding a slight sound and feel to your breath. And as we flow through our practice this morning, letting the sound and feel of your breath be a focus for your practice, the sound of which often compared to the sound of the ocean as the waves wash in and out. Now taking the tip of your tongue to the hard palate just behind your teeth, keeping that connection throughout the practice, keeping our jaws relaxed and connecting front and back planes of our bodies. And finally, with your lips closed, adding a slight smile to your face, opening up the front of your throat so your breath has lots of room to circulate, refresh, and revitalize. Lifting the chin tall through the crown, close your eyes, opening your eyes, hands by your side. So let's work a little bit of a narrower stance now as we start to connect with our center. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. How's that feel?
Good.
Okay. You can always modify if that feels too tricky. Working with our shoulders, inhaling the arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, arms back down. As we work the exercise, notice the natural elevation of the shoulders as the hands come up, and the natural descension of the shoulders as the hands come down. One more time like this. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Adding a forward fold, half sun salutation. Inhaling, arms up. On the exhale, leading with the heart as you fold. Take a breath to arc the back, lifting chin and tail, really melting the center of the back. On the exhale, puffing out back heart as we fold and round the spine. Inhaling, arms out to the side, moving towards a neutral spine. Hands out to the side and then overhead. It's okay. Exhaling, standing tall. 2 more times like this. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, arms over. Take a breath to find length as we arc. Exhaling, arching as we fold. Inhaling, riding the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. Let's do 1 more like this. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length as we arc. Exhaling, arching as we fold. Inhaling, flat back, hinging at the hips, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. I'll ask you to go sideways, Kathy. Sun salutation A, with or without vinyasa. If your shoulder's not feeling it, feel free to skip the push-up. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to find length. On the exhale, folding again and grounding on down and either finding your down dog or cycling through vinyasa, your choice. Looks like you're right in the center of the frame there. Nice. As we hold that down dog, I'll invite you to put your attention in your hands, lots of strength in the hands. And just an exercise here. I'll invite you to ground down through the base of the fingers, but draw the center of the palm up towards the shoulders as we draw the energy up from the floor. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail end of her breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as we lift the tailbone a little higher, more space in the low back. And then looking between the hands as you mindfully make your way to the front of your mat. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, folding again. Inhaling, flat back, hinging at the hips, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. Let's do 1 more sun salutation A. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to find length. On the exhale, folding again, and either cycling through vinyasa or just finding your down dog. And feel free to use the knees on that push-up. Inhaling into your cobra or up dog, shoulder blades back and down. And then rolling over the toes as you make your way back to down dog. As we hold down dog, this time I'll invite you to bring your attention to the base of your throat. From that place, listening and feeling as your Ujjayi breath flows in and out. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you mindfully make your way to the front of your mat. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding. Inhaling, hands overhead pose. Exhaling, standing tall. Sun salutation B. Let's do 1. We'll do a flow style. Inhaling into your chair, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up, a little back bend at the top. Exhaling, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out. Back to down dog as you will, either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back, your choice. Flow style from down dog, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky, high on the left toes as we stretch out Achilles tendon and calf. And then looking between the hands, bringing that right foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead, inhaling. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge as you spin that back heel up. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. And take your time, find your flow. Second side, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high in the right toes. And then looking between the hands as we bring that left foot through. Spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side and then overhead. Inhaling. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. Deep full breaths. Awesome. How's the shoulder feel?
Okay. I'm modifying.
Yeah, of course. Feel free to add a little movement if you want to invite a little more vitality, a little more prana into any part of your body. And from a place of movement, moving back towards stillness, getting ready to come forward. Long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you mindfully make your way to the front of your mat. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding. On the inhale, stay low. We'll come back to our chair, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. I'll ask you to face the camera again. Hands find the heart. A light press of your thumb against your sternum as we line up each finger. Coming back to that internal focus. Watching as our breath goes in. Lifting the chin tall through the crown, hands by our sides. Hands find the hips as we either step or maybe take a jump, feet hip width apart. And again, we can march it side to side. Again, just coming back to that exploration of our feet and our legs. And then letting the motion get smaller and slower, grounded through 2 feet. Working with our fire breath, short, sharp exhalations out through the nose. And this is also a great thing for clearing up any mucus or anything. As we inhale, arms up to one side. On the exhale, a short, sharp blast out through both nostrils. And then second side. Halfway done. One more each way. One more each side. And then back up. And either stepping it or jumping it back in. Big toes touch. Heels slightly apart. Sun salutation C. And we'll throw a hip opener into our three-legged dog. Excellent. Thank you for going sideways. Inhaling into our chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out. Back to down dog as you will, either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back, your choice. Awesome. So flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky, high on the left toes. Keeping that right shoulder right where it is, twisting from the ribs, lifted leg straight as we stack the hips. Nice. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. Now looking between their hands, bringing that right foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead for our warrior one. I'll invite you to bring hands back to the hips. Now if you're already at your max length, you stay right there. Otherwise, shifting weight onto the front foot and taking a little step back to find a little more space. How's that feel?
That's good.
Okay, not too long, not too much stretch.
It's probably,
Find that perfect place. With our hands on our hips, we can steer our hips front hip back, back hip front. 4 fingers find the tip of a thumb, stretching out our wrists as we try to touch the front of our wrists. And just like you're doing, I'll invite you to circle those bird beaks. See how your wrists feel this morning. And of course, taking those bird beaks the other way. Now bringing those bird beaks onto our shoulders. This is kind of a fun one here. We're going to rotate, keeping the bird beaks on our shoulders. We're going to bring one shoulder front, the other shoulder goes back. I'm just working that for a little bit here, just seeing how your shoulders feel. And then taking those rotations the other way.
this is one of those things you could do at your desk
Yes, it is.
when you need a break from your computer.
And then back to center. Let's keep those shoulders relaxed. Let's bring fingers to the back of our head, clasp of the fingers. Pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat, elbows wide to the side. And then stretching. Those hands high to the sky. With the breath, straightening the front leg without locking the knee as we gather up the energy. Exhaling, cactus arms. And let's do that 6 times. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. We're halfway done. Breathing in. And breathing out. Last 2. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 1. Breathing in. Breathing out and holding those cactus arms. The elbows move back. The hands come with. Rippling those fingers. Enjoying the stretch. Awesome. From here, let's bring hands back to hips. And let's turn warrior 1 hips to warrior 2 hips. And yeah, you don't have to, at home, stay right where you are, but Kathy's facing the camera here. So you're going to steer the hips sideways, so the back hip steers out, front hip steers front, and then finding one long arm. And then looking out over those front fingers with that steady yet relaxed gaze. Yeah. You might have some energy in those fingers.
I do.
It could be a very positive energy as you're casting a blessing upon wherever those fingers are pointed towards.
I bless you, little kiwi over there.
From here, painting rainbows. I'll keep it super fluid here. So really like your whole body's just like super, like a palm tree here. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Beautiful. Inhaling and exhaling. We're halfway done. Breathing in and breathing out. Last 2. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 1 coming up. Breathing in. Now I invite you to hold this shape. Yeah, so go to that reverse warrior and hold it. Reaching up higher, reaching down further. Finding more space between each rib. And I'll invite you to mimic those ribs by spreading those fingers wide. Really find, yeah, nice, beautiful. Nice stretch for your hands. And then from the reverse warrior back to warrior 2. Transitioning to the triangle. Thumb and forefinger find crease of hip and base of rib. We're going to deepen that crease and lengthen those ribs. And you're going to ground that bottom hand down. If you have a yoga elf, the yoga elf will put bricks outside the calf. You could always use the shin. Let's use that top hand to good effect. You'll bring it onto your ribs. You're going to rotate those ribs. Yeah, really feel that. And you're going to bring that hand onto that shoulder. Is this the one that is a little tweaked? All right, so be careful here. I mean,
it's funny. It's like kind of like, I think, like shoulder to arm. I think it's like, okay. Actually, it's interesting to feel where it is now.
Okay, yeah, maybe, yeah, give yourself a little massage before you open up that shoulder. And then when you're ready, stretching that hand high. Beautiful. Either looking down to the ground, very grounding, off to the side, another place to work, or challenging your balance as you look up to the sky. As we hold the shape, another 2 or 3 breaths. As you breathe in, just visualizing a gathering of energy in your center. And every time you breathe out from that place, more length through the arms, more length through the legs, and more length through the spine. Nice. From here, let's bring top hand to the hip. Let's soften the front knee, and then we'll spin that back heel up, and we'll find our low lunge. Feel free to use the bricks if you want to lift your lunge a little bit. Otherwise, just push them off to the side. And from that low lunge, back to down dog, as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back, your choice. Now, if I asked you to do a plank pose, how would that make your shoulder feel?
That'll be fine.
Okay, so let's find a plank and let's hold it for a little bit. As we have the plank, feeling that connection between your head, your hips and your heels, shoulders super engaged. Technically, you want to protract the shoulders in a plank, so you're pushing the shoulders down towards the floor as you puff out the back of the heart. And how does that engagement in the shoulders feel?
Good. I'm just really pressing down hard.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do. You don't want to hang out in a plank. That stresses the connective tissue that keeps our shoulder connected.
So I'm practicing what you coached before, which is pushing really down hard on my fingers and trying to raise up. And
you want to do the exact same thing in down dog, absolutely. And it's interesting how when we work the periphery, it has big effects pretty far away towards the center. So when we work our hands, we also work our shoulders. From here, navel to spine as we lift the hips high. How are you feeling? Do you need a child's pose?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so we're going to move to that second side. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky. High on the right toes. Keeping that left shoulder just as it is, twisting from the ribs as you stack the hips, lifted leg straight. Nice. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. Now looking between the hands, you're going to bring that left foot through, spinning the back heel down. Arms out to the side and then overhead for our warrior one. Now bringing hands back to your hips. Shifting weight onto the front foot. If you're already at your max, you'll stay right there. Otherwise, I'll invite you to lengthen your stance a little bit for a little more stretch in your legs. Yeah, if you want to face the camera, go for it. With our hands on our hips, we can steer our hips front. Front hip back, back hip front. Yeah, so we're moving to the warrior one sequence now. So you want to steer the hips forward. It's all good. 4 fingers find the tip of a thumb. Remember this one? Not yet. So you go here first, and we're going to circle those wrists. There you go. Not too fast, not too slow. Let it be your circles. Now we're going to bring those bird beaks onto our shoulders, and we're going to work those asymmetrical shoulder rolls. One shoulder front and then the other. Just checking out your upper back. How's it feel? And then taking those rolls the other way. Nice. Now coming back center, relaxing those shoulders, switching the clasp of the fingers behind the head, pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat, elbows wide to the side. And now stretching those hands high to the sky. With the breath, straightening the front leg without locking the knee, inhaling. On the exhale, cactus arms. And we'll do 6. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Halfway done. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 2. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 1. Breathing in. Breathing out and holding. The elbows move back. The hands come with. Rippling those fingers. Nice watch by boy. And from here, let's bring hands back to our hips. And we'll turn warrior 1 hips into warrior 2 hips. So the hips, it's like a swinging door. The hips face the side now. We've swung that door from front to side. And then 1 long arm, looking out over those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. And again, I like to have energy in those fingers. You also might think about, I mean, that's the obvious focus, but you might also feel energy going back. It's like called the Parthian shot. When you fire the arrow backwards, there you go.
You're better at history than mythology than me.
There you go. It's also called
Better
the parting shot, but it's actually the Parthian shot. From here, painting rainbows, keep it fluid, no rush here. Exhaling, inhaling, and exhaling. Inhaling, and exhaling. We're halfway done. Breathing in, and breathing out. Last 2. Breathing in, and breathing out. Last one, we're going to hold this shape. Reaching up higher, reaching down further. Finding more space between your ribs. And then I'll invite you to mimic those ribs with your fingers as you spread those hands wide. Again, notice, does that do anything for your shoulders? I know it does for mine. Usually feels pretty good. When I spread that finger nice and wide, you start to feel more space in the shoulder.
Yeah.
So again, it's kind of curious how the periphery affects the center.
I'm realizing it's right here. I just did something funny when I slept on this shoulder. So
It's probably like a little, what do they call it, a sprain.
And I sleep on that side too, so I should probably sleep on the other side for a
So
while.
you probably sprained the ligament, or you strained the muscle. I guess it's probably sprained the ligament.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to come back to our warrior 2. Moving towards our triangle, thumb and forefinger find crease of hip. Base of rib, we're going to deepen that crease and lengthen those ribs. Either using the shin, or you might grab some bricks, or someone grab some bricks for you.
Thank you.
Of course. Hand finds the ribs. We're going to open up those ribs. Hand on shoulder. Now notice, so this is the shoulder that doesn't hurt, right?
That's correct.
So just notice how it maybe feels a little different. Just noticing that. A little awareness moment here. And then when you're ready, stretching hand high. And even here, just putting your mind in your hand, and just notice working those fingers as you press down into the bricks, how that makes both shoulders feel. Nice, awesome. And as we hold it, another few breaths, obviously finding a place to look that works for your balance, either down, off to the side, or up. As you breathe in, the diaphragm stretches down towards your navel, gathering energy in that place. As you breathe out, the diaphragm relaxes and domes up to the heart. You just send energy out to space from the very center of yourself. Nice. And again, in that same intentionality in your limbs as you connect with the earth and the sky. From here, top hand finds the hip. Let's soften the front knee. We're going to move towards our low lunge. Just spin that back heel up. And from low lunge, back to down dog, as you will. Either sliding vinyasa or just stretching straight back. Awesome. Let's treat ourselves with the child's pose right now. Landing the knees lightly. I'll suggest arms in extension. Keeping the elbows lifted as your forehead heavies down towards the floor. And you get a nice stretch in your upper back and neck by keeping the arms engaged, but letting the neck and shoulders relax. From here, let's stretch out our hips a little bit, keeping hips and heels just as they are as you walk your hands to one side. So you find a side bend here. Again, keep the arms engaged, but let the forehead heavy onto the floor. And just whatever you're feeling in the shoulder complex, just breathing into that feeling. And let's bring our hands through center. Let's find that second side. Again, arms stay engaged. Let the forehead be heavy, heavy, heavy. Whatever you're feeling, breathing into that feeling. Finding more space in your body from the inside out. Now let's bring our hands center. Let's come to an all-fours position on our mat. And I'll demo here off camera something new here. Pressing solidly into the right hand, we're going to bring our left hand to the back of our head. Ribs engaged, abs engaged here. On an inhale, we're going to lift that elbow up any amount. On the exhale, back to center. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling up. Exhaling back. Inhaling up. Exhaling back. Now let's ground down through that left hand. Right hand comes to the back of the head. Ribs, so you're rotating from the ribs here. So the ribs are engaged, your abs are engaged as we inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down, and then releasing the back of the head, grounding down through that hand. From here, let's find the forearms on the ground. And just like we press into our hands to engage our shoulders, we're going to press into our forearms to engage our shoulders. Keeping that engagement as we tuck the toes and lift the knees. For a dolphin dog, how does that feel?
Okay.
Good?
Yeah.
Awesome. As we hold the dolphin dog, either keeping your feet just where they are, or you're going to walk your feet in towards your shoulders. Any amount. Even if it's just an energetic action. I'll give you another energetic action here. You want to pull the elbows back towards the feet and the feet towards the elbows without moving the feet or moving the elbows. As you feel that isometric engagement in your core. From the dolphin dog, I'll invite you to land the knees lightly, this time finding a cross of the forearms, letting your forehead be heavy on those forearms as you come to a more settled form of the child's pose. And just breathing in to whatever you're feeling, particularly in those shoulders. From this form of the child, let's find our all fours position. And we'll do a familiar exercise here. I'll ask you to walk the hand just a little bit forward to get the wrists in front of the elbows. Getting ready for our down dog. We're going to get there in a very specific way with the cat-camel combo. Breathing in as you arc the back. Breathing out, tucking toes, tucking tail, tucking chin as you round it in. 2 more times like this. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, rounding it in. 1 more time here. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, rounding it in. And we're going to add on here. Breathing in, lifting up. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. You're going to round it back to a child's pose. Yeah, but yeah, with the feet unfurled though. Yeah, there you go. Inhaling up. Let's keep the feet. Okay, there you go. And then taking it back. Yeah. 1 more time. Breathing in, lifting it up. Exhaling, drawing it back. Now we'll add the side to side, inhaling up center, and then you're going to draw it back towards one heel. Inhaling up center, and then you'll find that other heel. 2 more times each way. Breathing in, coming up center. Exhaling, drawing it back. Inhaling up center. Exhaling, drawing it back. Now throwing a figure 8 into the mix. Inhaling up on a diagonal. You're going to shift shoulders and hips, so the hips go one way, shoulders go the other. And then you're going to take it on back. Coming up on that same diagonal, shifting shoulders and hips and drawing it back. One more time. Inhaling up, shifting shoulders and hips and drawing it back. Now coming up on the other diagonal, shifting shoulders and hips and drawing it back to that second heel. Inhaling up, exhaling, drawing it back. One more this direction. Breathing in, coming up. Exhaling, drawing it back. And then coming back to an all-fours position. Hands just a little bit in front of the wrists. Feet hip-width apart. And we'll get to our down dog with the cat-camel combo. Breathing in, arcing the back. And then tucking the toes, rounding the spine. Tailbone high, high, high as you lift the knees. And then finding your flat back as you push hard into the hands and stretch those heels down. I'll invite you to walk the dog from side to side, bending one leg deeply and then the other. That's it. Just back and forth between the sides, just stretching it out. Keeping the shoulders super fixed, or maybe adding a little shoulder if it feels okay though. So make sure it feels good. You don't want to inflame or restrain that shoulder. You want that sprain to heal.
Yeah, I'm taking it really easy.
Yeah, excellent. From our down dog, moving back towards stillness, bending the knees ever so slightly, lifting the tailbone just a little bit higher, and then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, folding and holding, I'll invite you to toe heel the feet wide as you soften the knees, catching opposite elbows, let those shoulders relax, let the neck relax, let the head be heavy as we gently swing it from side to side. Switching across to the elbows, keep swinging it side to side. Now coming back center, we'll bring our hands onto our thighs for the assist. The chin is tucked, the tail is tucked. Pushing hard into the thighs as we roll ourselves on up, supporting our low back the whole time. Lifting the chin tall to the crown. Relaxing those shoulders as we bring hands to heart. And I'll ask you to face the camera. With hands on heart, I'll invite you to add an isometric engagement as we press the fingers together, elbows wide, shoulders engaged. A tuck of the tail, a tuck of the chin, connecting with the strength of our center. And lifting the chin tall through the crown, hands by our side. So let's work with that fire breath again. So if your feet aren't hip width apart, we'll get them hip width apart, either walking them farther apart or maybe taking a little jump. This time, again, short, sharp blasts out through both nostrils on the exhale as we inhale, arms up to one side. On the exhale, passing hands through center, and then second side. And you're switching across each time. We're halfway done. A couple more each way. Last one, each way. And then back up. And either stepping or jumping your feet back in. Let's do another sequence here in the Sun Sal mode. We'll call it Sun Sal D, starting with our chair. Inhaling. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up, little back bend at the top, shoulder blades back and down, open heart, open throat. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length as you look up, and then on the exhale, grounding on down and making your way back to down dog as you go. You can take your time. Awesome. Yeah, feel free to use the knees. From down dog flow style, we're moving through a swan sequence here. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky, high on the left toes. Keeping that right shoulder just as it is, twisting from the ribs as you stack the hips. Now bending that leg, opening up that hip. Now keeping that knee joint closed, you're going to bring that right knee to right wrist. Walking the left foot back, take your time as you settle the hips. Now unfurling the foot to stabilize the shape. Finding the tips of 10 fingers, shoulder blades back and down. And then walking yourself forward as you traction out your back. Take your time. And again, as we hold the shape, I'll invite you to keep the arms engaged, but letting the forehead heavy down towards the floor. So we're going to keep those elbows lifted. Awesome. And again, just breathing into that upper back. As we hold the shape, working with your body, finding optimal alignment. I'll invite you to gently rock your body side to side.
I know you said to keep the elbows lifted, but they really want to go down.
They really want to go down? Okay. Listen to your elbows. If there's one lesson we can take from here, is listen to those elbows. Yeah, let your arms relax then. Yeah. And then coming back to center, finding your optimal place of ease, and just letting yourself settle into the shape. Just scanning your body, seeing where you might feel a little more tight, a little more open. And by using your breath, try to find a little more evenness. So where we feel tightness, trying to find a little more openness with the breath. And the breath is a vehicle for our awareness. So when we metaphorically breathe into something, we're putting our awareness there. And we're consciously starting to relax our body in specific points. When you're ready, no need to rush. I'll invite you to walk those hands back in. You feel up to flying the swan this morning?
Sure.
Okay, so you're going to come on up. You want to feel that strong pelvic floor engagement, abdominal floor engagement, as you draw the perineum towards the belly towards the heart, and then you're going to float those arms out to the side and then overhead. If you're up for it, I'll invite you to find those bird beaks again, and then just circling your wrists. Taking those bird beaks the other way. I won't keep you up here forever, so I'll invite you to ground back down. And let's find swan twist both ways. So finding a perpendicular form on the bent knee side of things. You can turn away from the camera here. Other hand out to the side. And then pulling back with that form, keeping the hips relatively fixed, twisting from the ribs any amount as you turn your heart towards that outrigger hand. Now coming back center, you're going to find the other perpendicular form, the other outrigger hand, the hips are relatively fixed. You want to twist from the ribs any amount as we find more freedom, more space in our mid-back or thoracic spine. The more freedom, the more movement we have in the mid-back, which is very solid and stable for lots of good reasons. The less our low back has to work, the less our neck and shoulders have to work. And then back to center. Also just solidly grounding down through two palms as you tuck those back toes, finding a three-legged dog with a bent knee. And then very carefully starting to open up that knee. Give it a little shake maybe, a little circle, just inviting. We've compressed the joints and now we're inviting vitality to move back into that joint. And then when you're ready, grounding on down. Either cycling through vinyasa if you want to keep your heat up, or just holding your down dog, maybe walking it side to side. And then when you're ready for your second side, we'll move through that swan sequence. So big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Keeping that left shoulder just as it is, twisting from the ribs, lifted leg straight as we stack the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. And then keeping that knee joint closed as we bring left knee to left wrist. Beautiful. And take your time here, no need to rush. You're going to slide or walk that right foot back. When you can't go anymore, unfurling the foot to stabilize the shape. It's a nice stretch on the top of the ankle there. And then we're going to traction out our spine here, starting first, finding the tips of 10 fingers. Shoulder blades back and down, a little bit of a back bend here. And then trying to keep the sense of that back bend as long as you can as you walk those fingers front. And I know I suggested keeping the elbows lifted as your forehead comes down. Maybe do that a little bit. And then when you can't take it anymore, or becomes tiresome, letting the pose relax. As we hold the shape, I'll invite you to gently rock it side to side, finding your optimal alignment vis-a-vis your shoulders, vis-a-vis your hips. Also a nice gentle stretch on our low back and hips. And then when you sense that you're close to that place, don't let perfection be the enemy of the good. I'll invite you to totally let all movement cease. Your heart's still beating, you're still breathing, your mind's still moving. By bringing your focus back to your breath, if it left the breath, finding a little more space between each thought, each breath, each beat of the heart. And breathing into that space. As we hold in another 2 or 3 breaths, again, just scanning your body. Does any part feel a little more bound or tight? And by bringing your breath to that place in a metaphorical way, letting that place be a little less tight as you relax. A specific point. Moving towards our flying swan, take your time as you walk the hands back. Feeling that strong, strong center engagement as we draw the base of the pelvis up towards the navel up towards the heart, as we float those hands out to the side and then overhead. Hi, Kiwi.
Hi, girl. Hi, Kiwi.
And then I'll invite you to find those bird beak hands and just circling the wrists. And you want Kiwi, why don't you
It's okay.
come back to your
No,
bed?
I actually like it.
All right.
She's a sweetie. She'll move away when I'm not doing it. She's just curious.
Okay, gotcha.
Just don't pee over there.
Yeah, right, exactly. Kiwi's an old dog. And then from here, we're going to ground down when you're ready. Oh, it's beautiful. And Kathy spontaneously added that nice stretch. I'll have to cue that in class later on today. And then I'll invite you to ground down through your palms.
Hi, Kiwi.
We're going to find that twist. So
That's right.
perpendicular form on the bent knee side of things. We'll go there first. Outrigger hand. And then hips stay relatively stable. We're going to twist from our ribs. Stay focused.
It's okay. Hi.
Feeling the stretch.
She's a dog, so she wants to play yoga.
Let's do your sleeping dog pose.
She will in a minute. She'll lose interest.
And then let's find that twist the other way. So
See?
the other perpendicular form, the other outrigger
She just
hand.
wants to be part of that fun.
She does. Hips stay stable, twisting from those ribs any amount, finding more space in that mid back, more freedom. And then I'll invite you to come back to center. Grounded down through 2 palms, the back toes are tucked as you find your 3-legged dog, keeping that knee joint closed initially, unless you need it to get up. And then very carefully, just opening up that knee very deliberately. You don't need to rush here. Just letting the prana, inviting the prana to flow in.
It's interesting you say you don't need to rush, and I'm definitely not rushing.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
There's a quality of movement I can see. Sometimes when you move, you're moving slower than you did then. It's just something I noticed. If you don't feel like you're rushing, feel free to stick with that.
It's a good reminder for sure. It's
Yeah.
very being slow and intentional.
Yeah. I think sometimes we get so eager just to get that prana to flow back in that it's
right.
like a kid racing after the ice cream truck. And then grounding on down.
Oh, ice cream? Is there ice cream coming?
It's ice
Let's
cream after
practice.
class.
Awesome.
It's breakfast. No, we don't need ice cream for breakfast.
Yeah, we do.
And from here, I'll invite you to find the child's pose as you land those knees lightly, again, across of the forearms, letting it be a very settled child's pose here. And if the forearms are too low, you might make a pair of soft fists. Why don't you demo that, Kath? Just, yeah. And then, but stacking the fists, so you don't have to go down so low. Yeah, nice. From here, I'll invite you to bring your feet off to one side, and let's come down onto our backs. Lots of ways to get there. You want to do a little core work?
Sure.
Okay, so let's do roll downs and roll ups. So finding the top of your mat. So your feet are going to be out of the picture. I want your head something soft, so I want you to come forward this way. Yeah, so when your head, I want your head when it lands down not to be on the wood. I want it to be on the mat. Yeah, nice. You want to start the roll up from the low place? Okay. So full body stretch before we do anything. Arms overhead. Not too low. We want to keep the ribs soft and drawing in. Your low back's going to lift. From here, flexing hands and feet, lifting the head to tuck the chin, consciously pressing your back into the mat to recruit the core. Nice. When we get to the top, Frankenstein arms. I'm going to say Frank, yeah. I'm going to cue the other thing. And now you're going to puff out back hard, so you're going to round the spine. Nice. Coming back to your neutral spine, back of the head in line with the sacrum. And then finding C-spine as you tuck tail and chin and roll it on down. Full body stretch, the low back lifts. Exhaling, pressing your back into the mat as you roll it on up. This is my favorite exercise. So before you, not over, well, you can go overhead, I guess. I'm going to cue this one here, Frankenstein arms. Puffing back hard, really feeling the stretch here. And your shoulders are moving away from the heart. And then coming back to flat back and rolling yourself down. Nice. Inhale, full body stretch. Let's do one more here. Exhaling, pressing your back into the mat. As you roll it on up, and I know your shoulders want to do it, stretching hands high. So now you're not going to do it.
I was trying to do what you did before and I wasn't listening, so.
That's okay. It seemed like your shoulders really want to do that.
I don't know what they want to do.
And then coming back to Frankenstein arms. We're going to puff out back hard before we come down, or we're going to come down right away.
No, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Full body stretch. And then pressing back into the mat as you bring your hands to a T. And then you want to keep that core engaged by pressing your back into the mat as you walk one foot in and in the other. From here, let's find easy supine twist as you let your knees fall one way and your head falls off the other. And let's hold that for 2 or 3 long, slow breaths. With every exhale breath, just letting yourself get a little more heavy, a little more settled. And then on the tail end of an exhalation, with that abdominal engagement to support our spine, we'll bring knees and gaze back center. Taking a big breath into your back. And then finding that easy supine twist the other way. I'm going to move these breaths. There you go. And take your time. Holding it for 2 or 3 long, slow breaths with every exhale breath, just letting yourself get settled. You might visualize sand settling to the bottom of a bucket of water. Maybe at the beach. Maybe it's a pink plastic bucket. Who had a pink plastic bucket as a kid? There you go. And then on the tail end of our breath, with that abdominal engagement, we'll bring everything back center. Let's do one more exercise before we lay down and relax. Pressing your back into the mat to recruit your core. As you draw one knee into the heart, the other knee follows. Moving towards a happy baby pose here. Soles of the feet face the sky. You're going to catch either your ankles or the outside edges of the feet for the happy baby. I'll invite you to gently rock your baby side to side. Nice. From this rocking place, moving back towards center, coming back to a focus on your breath, watching as it flows in and out. And then carefully releasing the feet. I suggest pressing the back into the mat to engage the core to support the action as you move towards your Shavasana. Long through the legs. Awesome. You get a little more core work in there. As we hold this Shavasana, let's do a little different arm thing. I'll invite you to bring one palm on the belly, the other palm on top. And that might be a little more relaxing on your shoulders as you find your belly breath. Letting the warmth of your hands penetrate through to the very center of your belly. Letting the warmth of your belly penetrate out through the back of your hands. Tip of the tongue now neutral in the mouth. A slight part to the lips, but still breathing in and out through your nose. I'm going to ring these yoga bells 3 times. I'll invite you to move your mind before you move your body, bringing your attention back to your breath, watching as it flows in and out. From this place of just watching your breath, I'll invite you to shape your breath, varying that ratio between the inhale and the exhale as you find a long, slow breath in, followed by a longer, slower breath out. Keeping this, I'll invite you to pressure back into the mat as you draw one knee into the heart and then the other. Hands cap the knees, using your thighs to gently massage your belly as you rock it front to back, side to side, whatever feels right and good for you. And I'll invite you to reach back with a hand to lift and tuck the chin, keeping the neck relaxed. Chin stays tucked as the hand comes back to the shin. Now hands catch the back of the thighs as we start to rock it front to back, back to front. You might do it a few times, just massaging your spine, noticing how the spine connects to the shoulders, and then popping yourself up and finding a cross-legged sit. As we sit, grounded down through our sits bones, tall through the spine, a slight tuck of the chin. I'll invite you to bring hands to heart, ending our practice as we started, watching as our breath flows in and watching as our breath flows out. From this place of breath awareness, I invite you to bow as you thank yourself for practicing yoga, and as we offer our practice out to each other and to the world. The light within me honors and respects the light within you. And in this light, we are one. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, Kathy, for practicing with me.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Kiwi, for practicing with us. And we'll see everybody next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. Namaste. Have a nice day.